Hello guys, and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be going to explain you a horror, thrasher movie called Ice Cream Man. Spoilers ahead. The movie starts with flashback scene, where we see a young boy named Gregory witnesses local ice cream man, famously known as Ice Cream King, getting murdered in a drive-by shooting. We see Gregory mental health wasn't stable. Due to the incident, Gregory goes into depression. Scene shifts to the present, and we see Gregory now has grown up and has taken over the ice cream business. He also calls himself as the Ice Cream King. He is also using the man's truck and ice cream parlor. We see Gregory's mental health condition was still not improved, unbeknownst to the public. He uses gruesome ingredients like insects, blood, body parts in his ice cream. Scene shifts and we see a kid playing. Gregory arrives there. He goes to buy ice cream. But instead of giving ice cream, Gregory picks up a knife. Scene shifts and we see Gregory comes home with his truck. There we see a dog barks loudly at Gregory. Disturbed by the sound, Gregory kills the dog. Gregory landlord, Nurse Wharton, who treated him for his childhood trauma, hears the dog's cry. She looks for her dog through the windows, but suddenly Gregory arrives there. She asks him about her dog. Gregory lies and says he hasn't seen her dog. She notices blood on Gregory's nose. She asks him about it, but Gregory whips the blood and says it is one of the ingredients of the ice cream. Later we see Gregory puts the dog in the grinding machine. Roger Smith's mom then calls his friend, Johnny's mom, to ask about Roger Smith. Hearing about Roger missing, she gets scared. Johnny's mom then prohibits Johnny to go outside after dark. Scene shift and we see Gregory dreams about Nurse Wharton and Joker making him eat ice cream. And then Nurse Wharton wakes him up. Gregory then takes his truck and head out, but is stopped by the police on the way. They ask him about missing Roger, but he denies about seeing the boys. The cops later orders an ice cream from Gregory. We see there were a lot of human body organs, bloods and insect inside his bridge. He also adds a human eyeball in the ice cream. When cops ask him about the ingredients of the tasty ice cream, he says it's a secret. Small Paul, while returning home, stumble upon Gregory. Gregory, on seeing Small Paul, offers him ice cream. He is hesitant at first, but takes it. After Gregory's insist, Small Paul tells Gregory about how he used to stay inside because he was sick. Gregory tells him he was sick too when he was little, but now he is better. When Small Paul was about to eat ice cream, he notices Gregory's weapon with blood stain on it. On seeing this, gets frightened, but Gregory kidnaps Small Paul. His friends witnesses kidnapping. Gregory sees Tuna hiding. Gregory chases him, but Tuna outruns him and hides in the woods. There he encounters Robert, who was missing. He tells Tuna that he is hiding from Gregory from last night. Tuna then returns home. He wanted to tell his parents about Gregory, but his parents were arguing to each other. They ignore Tuna. Tuna, after getting ignored by his parents, feels disappointed, and goes to his room, chasing after Tuna. Gregory goes to his house, but after seeing his father he leaves. Tuna on the next day finds ice and worms in his shoes. Tuna and his mom then go for shopping. There he encounters Gregory. On seeing Gregory he gets frightened and hides from him. Tuna then tells his mom about Gregory. He also tells about kidnapping of Small Paul. Police then arrives at Gregory factory. They then search Gregory factory for any evidence, but it goes in vain. In the process they destroy Gregory items too. Cops were still suspicious about Gregory, so he tell the other cop to keep a look at him. In the next scene Gregory takes Small Paul out of the hiding place. He then gives him ice cream. Gregory, after saying that he will not harm him, Small Paul takes the ice cream. Scene shifts and we see Tuna and his friends makes plan to catch Gregory. They find Gregory at a graveyard. He was carrying plastic bag. Tuna and his friends think that it must be Small Paul's dead body inside the bag, but there were many ice cream inside the bag. He then goes to a house, leaving his truck on the road. Tuna's friend clicks the photos of Gregory's truck. There she finds blood stains on the fridge, and also glasses of Small Paul. Scene shift to the next morning. Following Tuna's father, Gregory comes to a lady house. Outside he waits for Tuna's father. Gregory blocks his way with his truck. Tuna's father gets angry and comes out of the car. Gregory then kills Tuna's father. He makes a huge ice cream of his head and serves it to the lady. Seeing that, she gets scared and frightened, and when she screams, Gregory kills her too. Scene shift and we see Jacob and his girlfriend go to the photo studio. She finds picture of blood stain. Later we see Small Paul was showing keen interest at Gregory's work. Gregory also teaches him how to make ice cream. Small Paul was happy now. Police then investigate about Nurse Wharton and Gregory. They find she was nurse at a psychiatric hospital. She used to give free ice cream to the patient, and also Gregory was her favorite. The cops then go to psychiatric hospital to find more about Gregory. In the hospital they find that the doctors and administrators are insane themselves. The patient starts following the two cops. but they manage to escape the hospital and save their lives. Scene shifts and we see Tuna and friends were cycling in the night, but suddenly Gregory appears and kidnaps Tuna. He hides Tuna in a freezer and locks it. Tuna friends then tells Tuna's older brother Jacob about the incident. Jacob then goes to Gregory factory to find his brother, but Gregory attacks and kills him. He then wears his clothes and comes in the car. He kills Jacob's girlfriend too. On seeing that, Tuna's friends run for their life. Seeing them running in fear, Small Paul laughs from the window. They find Cop's car, thinking they could help them, but when they open the door, they find dead bodies with no head. Gregory comes there with the head of the dead police officer. Small Paul now decides to help them. Nurse Wharton sees Gregory. She asks her about what he's doing. He replies that he's playing hide and seek with the neighborhood kids. Tuna's friends ask Nurse Wharton for help. She lets them come inside. Later we see two police officers at Gregory Place. Tuna tries to escape, but Gregory takes him hostage and takes him inside the van and shut the doors of the truck. Later he throws Tuna out of the truck. Suddenly he attacks the police officer and make them unconscious. As Nurse Wharton wanted to make Gregory win the hide and seek match, she tells Gregory about the two kids by holding a photo of the ice cream king over his face. Small Paul causes Gregory to walk into a trap that pulls him into the main ice cream mixer. Due to the razor-sharp blade, his body gets dismembered and dies. Roger and Tuna are reunited with their friends, who mention that Small Paul has been sent to therapy. At the last scene we see Small Paul sitting alone in a darkened room, silently churning a bucket of ice cream, his face twisted into an evil leer just like Gregory's.